That's right. Greetings, fellow Gothamites. Tiki here.
And Blue Dragon 5. Over 10 years ago, as The Dark Knight changed things forever, we lost the actor who made it happen. Heath Ledger delivered the ultimate performance that left us eternally wanting more. While we all thought we saw the last of his betrayal as the Clown Prince of Crime, two men unearthed amazing footage of what he might have done next.
The job falls to us to comb over the files and documented exploits of Patient 4479 in this ultimate tribute to the role of a lifetime. Let's start today's session with Get Me to the Church on Time.
Yeah.
All right, so Dragon, in spite of last episode, like really laying down the rules on his philosophy of not crashing weddings, like the cake and all that, Dragon, the cake metaphor. It doesn't really matter. Joker's crashing the party anyways. He's en route to crash the party at least. And while there, we've got a brand new character that I'm sure you're excited to get my thoughts on, Dragon.
Oh, yes.
So this is basically the Bob the Goon type. And here's what I like about this character, Dragon, is that throughout all these episodes, we've had Jeremiah Arkham, like trying to put up this front of and by the way, the last time we talked about Jeremiah Arkham's front, I wasn't really liking it all that much as far as like, I don't really like it's hard to tell where the actor being disinterested starts and where, just the actor playing apathetic begins. But Dragon, this episode really kind of showcases both Jeremiah Arkham, like in this, like throughout this whole thing, he has been doing nothing but trying to placate the Joker. And then also, more scary, it shows just how easily, like you could be doing everything right. You could be playing Joker's game perfectly, getting a perfect score, and it doesn't matter. Something chaotic like this dude coming along, just literally pointing out a homeless person on the street could lead to you essentially getting replaced, Dragon. And it's a very interesting dynamic that we've got going on. This guy kind of usurping the power within the car. Also, of course, the big cliffhanger, one of the bigger, I mean, this show's had some big cliffhangers before, but this is definitely like an, oh my God, we're in endgame territory right now after this episode. And then also, Dragon, what happened to Lyle? Dear sweet Lyle. So yeah, Dragon, a lot going on in this episode. I quite enjoyed it.
Yes, so yes, of course, this is the penultimate episode to the wedding. I don't want to give away specifics to how the wedding's going to go, but let's just say this is for sure, the chronologically the penultimate episode to the wedding. We're setting the tone for the surprises literally around the corner. Like, hey, oh my God, there's a new character around this corner. Let's go meet him. It's a celebration of certainly the unconventional Joker method of henchman recruitment that the character's always had. That we kind of see basically with a Nolan equivalent of Bob the Goon with the great Andrew DeVary. So Tiki, Andrew DeVary, as I've set up, both literally in our image here, both the show creators right there. It's
yeah.
Andrew DeVary. We finally DeVary's been in there in like kind of parts that have not been seen. Like we've had him as a guard and as Dr. Cavendish, so we've heard him. It's the first time we've given like a full on character. These two, they're very much not only just a writing duo, they've also been a comedy duo, so they get paired up a lot. So
and you can totally tell. I mean, they they very much leap off the screen together for sure.
The chemistry, Tiki, I think I'd like to say you're going to really fall in love with the chemistry. The Ted just gets better from here. If you liked him already, you're going to love him as he goes on. So DeVary always really funny, and again, just kind of as I said, his first unobscured role in the show. So a lot of fun there. But to the wedding crashing. I mean, as far as Joker's concerned, again, he's filling in, so he's walking in there with an invite. That is his demented wedding present. But we'll get there. Let's break it down. So, folks, by the way, so after this, we're going to cover the deleted episode, kind of a bonus episode, out of gas. So we're going to cover that after the main kind of a recap for basically why we're all here with Get Me to the Church on Time. And let's just say it might be deleted for a reason. We'll get there. Okay. All that said, let's get things started. So we have our kind of our title card. In this case, the map and the to do list, which is really fun. I love this title card of like steal car, pick up Lyle, like pick up milk, pick up Lyle.
So I love in this episode, Jeremiah Arkham is at the height of not giving a shit anymore mode.
Absolutely. At this point, here's the thing, Tiki. At this point, he's been using his the sarcasm as a tactic, and we do get to see that at play. But at this point, he is. You're right, though. He is absolutely fraught, and he's going a little. He's legitimately going crazy. So it's like he's kind of whining, but legitimately whining as a man who's been tortured for a whole night.
Uh-huh.
And it's earned. I mean, he's been through a lot. I mean, you saw Dinner with the Arkhams. The guy's been through a lot, and this is a.
So I love how these episodes tend to start with like just minuscule little small talk between the victims. In this case, we have and Pearl.
Yes, yeah. So we're gonna get some good Pearl bits between this and the next couple episodes. So yeah.
So Pearl's complaining about her handcuffs. And I love this little minute detail of Jeremiah Arkham worrying about the car battery running out because of the lights and like, well, who's going to pay for it if I have to change the battery?
Are you going to cover it? And again, it's the fact that I love this, the fact that they've been sitting out there for a whole episode because they've been sitting out there while he was killing Kopsky.
Right, exactly.
So the lights have been on, and it's like, oh, what's taking them so long? If they only knew. So Joker essentially returns from episode 14. So he's in a tux. They have no idea what's going on. They've been left in the Narrows, which, as we've established in Batman Begins, not the best part of Gotham.
And then, oh god, so Joker just shows up looking incredibly dapper, I might add. Right?
Yes, he does.
Legitimately dapper.
He looks good in the tux, as crazy as that sounds. He does. You look grumpy.
He's like, you look grumpy, which prompts Arkham. I don't want to go through the whole thing, but he basically has a...
Yeah, long and short of it is
he has a monologue about how this has not been a great night for him.
Yep. The whole wife's at home with dynamite. It's cold. He's in an unwashed jumpsuit, and there's a homeless man. This is the important part. There's a homeless man around. He's looking around.
I love that he basically points out the homeless man out of sheer desperation, and that kind of becomes his undoing.
What kills me is Joker's reaction to this and how he doesn't let it go. It's like the comedy club rule. If you find a victim and you lean on, when they say something funny that gives you an edge, he's going to lean into it. Where Joker's reaction to this absurdity of you're worried about him? In all of this, you're worried about him? Yes, so
right.
Yeah. Yep. So anyway, so then to me, this is really Steve Maloney. He's always been great in this show. This moment really always got me on the rewatch where Maloney says, "What would you do if you came out here and Pearl and I were dead?" And Joker has essentially the line of the episode here. "I would offer that man a job." And just the pause in Maloney.
For the first time with Arkham, he gets I could feel this is this is the Joker's influence. He gets straight up defensive. He's like, "You need us."
Yeah, but again, I love the hesitation before that. You can see the genuine fear and why he's doubling down with that, and it backfires on him instantly. It's like, you need us. Because he's just defending. It's almost like the Breaking Bad thing. It's like the box cutter effect of no, listen, just let us get back to work. That whole thing. We serve a purpose in the ecosystem here, man.
Sure.
So anyway, so here's the thing though, Tiggy. Technically, Joker doesn't need them, and that's what's really funny about this, because he has the car, and he can. I'm sure he could find where the church is rather easily. He's doing all this for fun.
It seems like they're pretty close.
Yeah, I mean, he's doing all this for fun and revenge, because again, these are the people that just ticked him off very minorly in Arkham, but just the little offenses, little microaggressions that he's taking out on 10 folds. That's the reason he's bringing them all on the journey here, just to make them suffer. I mean, the only one he kind of needed was Lyle for the distraction. That's about it. All right, so Joker shows them just how replaceable they are by going to the homeless man's dumpster. And basically, and I like this too. I like the symbolically here. It's kind of a lesson in the class separation for Arkham, who again we've seen Arkham pretty affluent life. He's got a fancy house. He has a personal chef. I love the Joker of all the people he could pick to kind of replace Jeremiah Arkham. He's kind of rubbing it in even further of just like I put you in the garb of the prisoners you look down upon, and now you're going to be replaced by a homeless man.
Yeah, totally. And then there's a bunch of microaggression going on later when the guy actually comes on board, but we'll get to that.
Absolutely. Okay, so we meet the homeless man again, played by the wonderful Andrew DeVary, and so Joker asks this bum, "Do you want to die?" Um, kind of.
Yeah, so with this character, it's really interesting that the way they write him is it's very much in the style of Bob the Goon, but he's he's got an air of tragedy about him at the same time, but also that air of tragedy came at his own undoing. So it's like you feel sympathetic towards him, but only to a certain extent because you get the vibe that he kind of dug his own grave in
I mean,
life.
the initial mistake was his, but you feel bad. You think it's a little disproportionate. He shouldn't have lost everything. He should have
Right,
lost
right,
something. He
exactly.
shouldn't have lost like not every like the whole like losing his house and everything. That's a little much, Where it's
Uh,
like so. Regardless, so I here's the thing that always fascinates me about Ted. And by the way, just to mention this before I forget about it. So Tiki, well, okay, I'm going to save for action when he comes on board, so I'll put a pin in that for a second. Anyway, so I love with the response, though. I love that this response intrigues the Joker and essentially shapes their dynamic where this guy's not begging for his life and he kind of wants to die. This interests me. This is not what I usually get in response. I want to hear this man's story. So we have this brilliant monologue about essentially how he was fired from his job for inappropriate interaction with a female coworker, which led to his divorce and his daughter hating him. His last words were, "I hope Daddy burns in hell for what he's done."
that's brutal.
It is, and they lost his home for the little misunderstanding known as tax evasion. So then there's the bit that I'll take my favorite part of this episode always is he was living in the car until some weird armored motorcycle
Yes.
blew
This is
it up.
very, very Nolan-esque, Dragon, the way that they tie all that together.
Blew it up and went to a shopping mall. So taking the bit that always jazzed me out of my mind about this is McClure's performance and the little nuances on the Joker's face during this whole monologue. You kind of see him losing interest and regaining interest. And the moment the Batman is mentioned, Joker's knowing, and also you could read it either as him just knowing and having fun with it, or him just like being kind of oblivious and oh, what a world we live in that this misfortune befalls you.
Right, right.
Either realizing or not realizing the hand that he and the Batman had into it. I'd like to think the fact that the Batman was involved somewhat in like the last strike against this homeless man's plight is the closer for I want this man in my employ. I want him. And we just have this wonderful, prideful like extension of a hand. What is your name? Theodore. Just so professional despite being at the lowest. Well, Ted, come on. He's so wonderful and friendly, and also helping the homeless, kind of like Bruce Wayne does in Batman Begins.
In a
With the
twisted
guy.
way, yeah. In a twisted way, this very much is like a mirror image of the Batman Begins arc.
Only it goes next level with it, and it's like Joker essentially taking on a sidekick, one could say, and basically training him, like kind of leading, just kind of teaching him his ways, mentoring him essentially. All right, so, and again, so now that he's on board, I do feel to mention. I don't know if you remember this or not. So the other Joker show that we talk about, Harley Quinn and Joker versus the Real World, which I recommend, is very different flavor than this is. Very much like Nolan continued. That is just very much traditional Joker in a new location. In episode 6, Joker recruits henchmen, and he ends up with another homeless character named Chappie, who is delightful. But Tiki,
Sure.
when we were talking about that, when I was so giddy about that character and that archetype, you now know why. I was thinking of Ted.
I can see that, yeah.
So the
Yeah.
similarities there being, oh my god, another great homeless henchman for the Joker. This is wonderful. All right. Okay, so Joker sweetens the deal by offering compensation for this henchman.
How would you like a sweet $20 bill?
I love the give me your wallet gags so much. So just like
It's like
give
at
me your
this
wallet.
point, Arkham literally has nothing else to lose. He's just done.
Give me your wallet. Then Joker's like, wait, what? He's like pointing the gun. Give me your wallet. Like literally
Give me a
mugs him on
wallet.
camera. So take it. This is honestly one of my favorite episodes of the Joker blogs. Also, I probably should mention that earlier, but I really love this episode because this moment here is this capture the whole Denny O'Neil aspect of the Joker that the animated series ran with, where you don't know what it's like the random effect of the Joker. He could give you $1,000,000 because he likes your shoes, or he could kill you because he likes your shoes, that's the Denny O'Neil quote. But yeah, that's the kind of thing you never know what the Joker's gonna do.
Uh-huh.
It's the fact that he hires this man. We're like, I want you to help us make a movie. Because I don't have to take off my pants, do I? Like, no. Get your mind out of the gutters, both of you. Just the funny pants runner ever since that hypnosis episode. All right, so by the way, what do you think of Ted's like look, the costuming and everything?
I really like it, Dragon. I mean, I feel like clearly it's supposed to be, kind of a Nolanized interpretation of a Bob the Goon style character, and I feel like in that way it comes across really well. It very much feels like, what a real world version of someone like that would be like.
See, I've always loved the ski mask detail. Just you came prepared. Just again, like how you legitimize like an average thug with a ski mask. Well, a homeless guy in the cold. He's gonna
So
need a
one
ski
of the
mask.
things, just jump into the next scene here where, we have him, behind the camera, and he's kind of bragging about how he used to be a cameraman. And Dragon, I love how at first Joker's just like, I feel like he's legitimately just like, oh, finally a professional. Like he's saying that as like a passive aggressive jab at Jeremiah Arkham. But I also feel like on some level he's like, all right, great, like let's get some cinematic quality to this.
Yeah.
And I love how jumping ahead to the next episode we cover, the deleted episode, like he is so over the whole, this guy saying that he has every career in the book. Like I love that that's like a very short-lived quirk of this guy that quickly gets on Joker's nerves.
Well, that's a fair read on it, Tiki. You're not wrong in that it can be absolutely read as that. I honestly it'll be interesting to see how you feel by the next episode. I'll say that much. Where I don't think I think it was just that case because he thought he was going to say something kind of filthy and he wanted to cut him off. I think that's what that gag is.
Okay, fair enough.
But I mean, you're not wrong though. Joker's going to give him some odd looks after he lists all these occupations. I think Joker's realizing how convenient it is, and I like that it's kind of like a fourth.
right.
So this is what I'm saying. My favorite thing about Ted the Bum, the reason he's like my favorite Joker henchman, period. Honestly, even though he's not like officially like I really wish
he's the kind of character like Butch Gilzeem in Gotham, where you wish he'd be incorporated into the main Batman canon.
Exactly. So Ted's always been my favorite because of the fact he's like Bob the Goon, but even better in that he's had every job under the sun, and he's the most useful Swiss Army knife of a henchman ever, and he was just found in the most obscure of circumstances.
Right.
That's why I love him. So, anyways, you're right. It's a lot of it's a lot of fun, and it's going to get some oddball reactions, but it's a lot of fun. Anyway, so finally, the professional. Also, a detail I never caught about Ted until the rewatch here: his shirt. There are some fun shirt catches in the future with Ted, but let's just say right now, the shirt that he's wearing.
Also, do you think the name was Bundy inspired, Dragon?
I imagine it would have to be.
It's got to be, yeah.
That was my assumption, but it was never confirmed, unfortunately. But yeah, so his shirt says "Look on the bright side." If you look at it like real quick, it's kind of funny.
Always look on the bright side of life. Do do do. All right.
Okay. Anyway, so okay, let's see. So again, Joker's randomness is at play yet again with a wonderful moment where Ted very genuinely says, where are we going? Like, oh, it's a surprise. Is it going to be dangerous? Well, probably. Can I have a gun? Well, I don't see why not.
Okay, and once again, this whole episode is kind of like a comedy of errors for Jeremiah Arkham, who, the whole time, Dragon, he has been just jumping through hoops just to try to stay on Joker's good side.
For the sake of his wife.
And then along comes this dude where Joker's just like, yeah, sure, you can have a gun. Why not?
It just utterly cracks me up. So yes, let's give and just again Arkham again. It's the fine line. Is he going crazy or is he still keeping up the sardonic thing? Where again the lines are getting blurred because he's legitimately going a little crazy right now.
I mean, I feel like he's trying to keep up the sardonic thing, but like the veneer is slowly fading. Right?
Yes, exactly. Just like let's give the degenerate with a death wish a gun. Can I have a flamethrower for Christmas? Well, I didn't see any of those at Lyle's house, so probably not. So, Ted, I bet you wish you had one of these when you're disciplining your children, which is a really dark yet funny line coming from the Joker.
Yeah, there's a lot of really dark stuff regarding Ted and the family for sure.
All right, so Ted, can you not hold like a neurotic idiot? Of course, at the moment, Jeremiah says that almost shoots Pearl, and then we have honestly one of my
This
favorite lines.
poor Pearl Dragon, she goes through so fucking much through these episodes.
Oh, just wait for it, Tiki. Something bad's gonna happen to Pearl.
Well, I mean, it's like I just feel like they just keep queuing up something bad to happen. So yeah, I believe you.
So he almost shoots Pearl, and then we have one of the great lines of the series for me. You just lost your gun privileges. If you had hit Pearl, on the other hand. So, by the way, plant the flag with that line. You just lost your gun privileges.
Okay, flag planted.
Okay, so then we have kind of a teachable moment here where Joker teaches him because it was the first time he ever shot a gun. No, this are you left or right-handed? He's right-handed, like left. He puts in his left hand. This will be interesting. just such a dangerous, psychotic scene where he puts the gun to Pearl's head, basically tells him to line up the shot and squeeze it. And then we have that. So here's the thing, D. We go from a rather hilarious episode to then things are getting rather intense and scary. That's the wonderful thing about this show. It captured that element of the character so well. The charisma.
Yeah, it's just like, you never know when he's going to go from like, your best friend to your worst enemy.
Yep, and you see Arkham, and this is the great thing about Maloney, what he's doing here. He's trying to he's doing everything he can to save Pearl here. So okay, let's not do this. He's desperately trying to save her here, and it's falling on deaf ears. Like, come on, let's put the gun down. Let's this is like squeeze it, and then helicopter interrupts.
Kind of goes into that whole the deep voiced, almost monster kind of voice, like squeeze it.
Squeeze it.
Yep. Oh God.
So the helicopter.
I hope they don't overdo that voice, Dragon. I'm going to say that right now, because that voice is very effective, and it is obviously, like we all know, it is like the scariest moment for the Joker in The Dark Knight. I don't know, that's like a couple episodes in a row that they've used that same sort of like deep voice growl. So I hope they don't overuse it, Dragon. I feel like it's more effective when they use it sparingly.
Well, if memory serves, I think, honestly, Tiki, if memory serves, and I'll have to rewatch because it's been a while, I want to say he doesn't use that voice again. If I recall.
Well, there you go. And that's why I like this performance, Dragon, because it's literally cherry picking like all the good stuff from Heath's performance.
Let me put it this way: this is either the last time we do it, or there's going to be one last time coming up, and it's going to be memorable. That's
all right. That's fair. That's fair.
Okay. So, anyway, so again, like they're broken by this helicopter. Which, by the way, just think about the practice. That's an actual helicopter flying over them, and this was not an easy shot to get. They had to drive around for a while and just wait for a helicopter to pass over.
Right.
Not easy. Okay. Wonder who they're looking for. What are you doing? You're not some gun-toting maniac with a bloodlust, are you? All right, so then again, Joker again, he kind of diffuses the situation. You're the only one who knows where the church is. Take us there. So then we have kind of a fun, poor Pearl, by the way, just begging to go home to her family. Like, well, where are your family now?
Right, yeah.
We could go home and read your son a bedtime story. Hey, if there's anything I've learned, it's that home is where the hurt is. And then we have this great non sequitur, just so on.
I feel like that line is very much like a "what doesn't kill you simply makes you stranger" type of line.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Yeah, that sounds right. So we have this great non sequitur from that to what's on the radio. Just so upbeat. So Joker's playing with the radio.
It's just like, okay, like let's go from from Pearl's life just imminently in danger to like, ooh, let's see what the tunes are.
They're putting on the car wash song to then Lyle Bolton was found. And I just love he doesn't linger on it, just like switches it. Who cares?
Yeah, I was like, wait, what? Found dead, alive? What? What's going on?
So then we have the
I assume I am not supposed to know yet, Dragon.
You'll find out one way or another soon.
Fair enough.
All right, so then we have the "Does That Make Me Crazy" song playing, which is an accurate music choice.
Crazy. And then I like that we keep up the the terrified carpool karaoke.
So we have this fun montage where the time passes between this location and the church. Like we have we have again the forced as you said, the chorus of "Killing 'em softly with this song."
Oh my god, dude, it's just ridiculous.
Then we have, for me, the bit that cracked me up always was the jazzy music, which I actually really enjoyed. To then the haunting. This bit always made me uneasy, which is supposed to just the build of the chaos of basically the chaotic odyssey we've been on. The going to the church, going to the chapel song.
Right, yeah.
And it's like, oh god, like he's almost there, and we
this feels like a Coen Brothers needle drop almost.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it's a
yeah.
I didn't think of it that way, but yeah.
All
right, so Tiki. It's been a while. They've arrived outside the church.
Oh boy!
Now Ted ain't going in because he used to be a priest. I love that we cut it off there. Like he used to be a priest.
Yeah, I love that. It's like he used to be a priest, got fired for inappropriate conduct with a female coworker. That's all we need to know. Fuck.
God. Okay, so Joker gives him hedge clippers. Gives him some hedge clippers to basically make sure they don't scream and run away, or just if you get bored, just be sure to film it.
God,
so cruel. Okay, so then Tiki, we have so after this brief bit of like, how do I look? Spiffy, and then like, did we go to Jeremiah Arkham? Just with that, I love Maloney's delivery here. So sums everything up perfectly. Just you look great.
And then I love that Joker at this point has very much caught on to the sardonic tone and responds in part.
Yep, I love his response. Like, shucks. It's a great response. Then Tiki,
that is like they know each other's game at this point, Trek, and I love that.
Then Tiki, we have one of the coolest moments in the series for me. I've always loved this moment. So Joker goes to the trunk to get his wedding present. He pulls out a shotgun with a frilly white bow on it. When he cocks the shotgun, the bow comes off, and he's making his way slowly into the chapel as Arkham just realizes, wait a minute, there was a shotgun in the trunk.
Oh my god, I love that. I love that. Yeah. What I love about that is it's a callback to him being stuck in the trunk, and it's just like that's what he's worried about in the moment, Dre. Like, you mean I was stuck in there in the trunk and we were driving around, and at any moment that loaded shotgun could have gone off?
And like stuck in the trunk for roughly like between episodes like a month. I mean, just in terms of how people have been waiting. So that's just like the fact that he's been in that trunk. And he just looking for anything, and the shotgun, his salvation was there the whole time.
right.
So that's just to me. I love this episode. Okay, so let me shed some light on what the deal with Out of Gas is. Okay, real quick.
What's the deal with Out of Gas?
So what is the deal with Out of Gas?
Dragon, have you ever been driving along a desert highway and you notice that? All right.
Okay. So I mean, we all have gas, right? So anyway, so the idea. Okay, so Tiki. So as I've mentioned before, there was a release of the Joker blogs as a feature-length film.
Right.
So one of the draws for that feature-length film was that you would have an episode that was not released on the YouTube channel. That was, you can only get through the movie. So someone essentially bought that copy or the digital version. They cropped that out, I guess, and they put it online so people could watch it, which is how you were able to see it. So essentially, this is kind of we'll get into this more once we get to the wedding itself. I'll say that much. But this was intercut into the movie version. It was there's kind of more editing that went into play, and you got to see again. So this would have been combined with episode 15 if it went linearly.
Yeah. I mean, I basically took it as just a little bit more character building on
exactly.
Yeah. So,
and I feel it was cut rightfully so, because I think 15 is paced really well and really economically.
I mean, I agree. I feel like this kind of just feels like more of the same from what we got in this last episode that we just talked about. Like, there's not really any information here that could be gleaned from the other interactions.
Let me put it to you this way, Tiki. In the tomes of the Joker blogs, I think there's legitimately one episode that's not great, and this is not a bad episode. This is just like you don't need it. But there is one episode that we'll get to that will not be great. We haven't gotten there yet.
Okay.
I haven't gotten there yet. I mean, I'll praise every episode but that one. But we'll get there. So anyway,
Interesting.
so out of gas again. Not an extensive coverage, but essentially, Arkham's car ran out of gas. So I love that it wasn't the battery he was afraid would get him in the end. But
Uh-huh.
it was the gas. So they forced Jeremiah Arkham. Just think of torturing this poor man. They forced Jeremiah Arkham, who has a gag reflex apparently, to siphon gas while holding the camera. I love they forced him to
And
film.
I want to point out this one shot, like right after he vomits, and then we
Yeah.
have we have the two of them. We have Joker and Ted, right?
Yeah, Ted. Yeah.
Yeah, just want to make sure.
Right.
Joker and Ted just looking at the camera like side by side, and it's such a good shot. They're just like two peas in a pod.
They make such a great two shot. I love seeing these two
They
guys.
do, they really do.
Really
And the
do.
fact that they're the co-creators of the series is just even more satisfying.
Absolutely. So by the way, so again, the main reason I'm not over the moon with this one, and the fact I'm of the opinion, yeah, it was probably cut for a reason, is that I don't think we needed the gross out vomit gag.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. You're never one for a vomit gag. I hear you.
It's a superficial thing. It makes sense. So
How
I'm
how
not
do you
mad
feel
at.
about that one like super extended infamous vomit gag from Family Guy?
Well, no, that's fine because that was funny. It was a cartoon, so I'm just saying when we've
You actually liked that? All
Well, I
right.
mean, look, it's not my favorite scene in Family Guy, but it was from the.
I'm just
From,
saying, if you hate vomit comedy, like that is like the apex predator
well,
of
no, no, no.
vomit comedy.
No, take a look. I don't. It's not that I don't hate vomit comedy. I hate certain bathroom. I hate bathroom humor that's not clever. And I think Family Guy in its original form, actually, they did a great job. Of
Okay, so you think
well.
the infamous Family Guy gag, like, what do you think it was just so over the top that it looped back around to being funny?
Yeah, it's fine. I don't really have anything against my problem with the vomit humor here is that this I don't really need that in kind of like our Nolanized kind of
No, I hear
continuation.
you.
Like that's
Like you would
yeah,
never see Nolan do a vomit gag.
that's what I'm saying. I don't quite need
Yeah,
it here. That's
yeah.
why I'm not. In general, I don't
Like
really
I
have
don't
anything
think
against
Nolan
it.
has ever done any sort of bathroom humor period that I can think
I
of.
mean, he's only had one joke that borderlined it ever once in Inception, but it was like a one. It was like they really had the
Oh
Eve.
yeah, right,
Well, not
right,
Eve,
right.
but
Yeah.
Yosef, I believe his
And
name
even
is.
then, it's like, it is a
It's
valid
subtle.
thing where it's like if you're dreaming and you have to go to the bathroom, weird shit can happen in your dream,
Yeah, the
so
guy had too much. The guy had too much wine, so that's what
right.
too much champagne.
That's honestly one of my favorite plot points in Inception.
That's why it's raining in that whole
Yeah,
movie,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
which is great. So that's what I'm saying. Like I don't. Yeah. Anyway, the point being, that's the main aesthetic reasons. Like, yeah, not great because the whole episode is about Arkham having the gag reflex, and it's not. Anyway,
Uh-huh.
point being, but it makes sense though. So I don't think it's a problem anyway. So Ted has things handled though because he's pretty good at this. He used to be, and now Joker interrupts his sense because he's afraid of what he's going to say. Why he's good at doing the thing that gives Arkham problems when he has a gag reflex. That's what I'm saying. The humor, little kind of at its bluest in this episode. Like
Uh-huh.
don't finish that sentence. So Joker remarks how so he's siphoning gas to cut down on expenses because he was wrong. Gasoline is not cheap. So this is funny because think about how clever this is, Tiki. So they're making the Dark Knight like pre-08. Of course, in
Yes,
2008,
yes.
that's when I believe, if I recall, we have like the big Enron thing. That's where things get expensive and everything goes
Yeah,
to hell.
around '08 was a very bad gas crisis. Yeah, I
So
remember.
this is kind of like a fun correction of some, like kind of the one thing that somewhat dates. If like it doesn't date at all, really. But if you really overanalyze it, like in The Dark Knight, it's like gas would not be cheap in that film, but when they wrote it, it probably was cheap. So it kind of acknowledged, this is in 2010 when we're doing this. Yeah, gas not cheap. We're gonna have to siphon.
And I mean, here we are now in 2021, and gas is like just as expensive as ever, at least in
Yeah,
California. So,
yeah, still not cheap. So that
yeah.
timed out well. So as they
God
fill
bless
the
America.
So as they fill the gas can, Joker surprised how lucky they were they found an abandoned car, and then Jeremiah Arkham informs him, "Oh, this is Lover's Lane." You mean there's a chance there are people in this car? And then we have the
I love how that
Titanic.
excites Joker Dragon. He almost sounds
Yep,
like a kid on Christmas morning.
little bit.
We
Yeah, a
have a
little bit.
genuine jump scare with the hand.
So we have like the Titanic hand homage,
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
the steamed
Well,
up window.
you think Titanic? I got more of a Psycho vibe, honestly.
Well, what makes you say Psycho?
Like the hand through the window is kind of like the hand through the shower.
Oh, what? I mean, I never thought of it that. I just figured like literally like Titanic's whole biz, they're making love in the car, and she does the handprint thing. That's why I thought that. But yeah, that's a good point. I mean, it's a cool
I'm
comparison.
just saying it's a jump scare.
Oh well, yeah. Well, as far yeah, you're right. As a jump scare goes, yeah. If you're
Yeah.
looking at that, yeah. I guess in that case, yeah, it is Psycho. Yeah, there you go.
I mean that hand was pretty much, I believe, what they used for the poster for the stupid Psycho remake.
Oh,
So
you're right about that. Yeah, they did.
yeah,
Yeah. Okay. Well, there you go. Anyway, so we have this great. I love this sweet pan. We just pan over the Joker and Ted. Now Ted smiles. It's like this big smile, and Joker's like, "Oh, okay, come on." Joker goes to handle it. So we just have this. I love it's this exasperated. I think Joker. My read on it was less Joker's excited, more he's exasperated because he's running late for the wedding. This is yet another thing he has to deal with.
Dragon, it's very much like a Dexter kind of like he can't control himself. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yep. It's like, well, I don't.
It's
I
like he
gotta
could
do
very
this.
easily walk away from the situation, but no, it's like his dark passenger, if you will, is like, son of a bitch, this is just too easy. These kids are just
Exactly.
here, you
Like,
know?
there's no way Joker's not going to do this. We know
Right,
that.
right, yeah.
All right, so knocks on the window, and of course the guy on the inside. I believe we're going to reuse these guys for some of the wedding guests later too. But that's why they're obscured in the shadow. So, it's not an officer. Like, oh, sorry, officer, do you want us to move? Like, oh God, wait, is it my dad? If it's your dad, we're breaking up.
Oh God, that's good.
So
That's
then we have the weirdest thing you never expect to see: Joker's a safe sex PSA.
good.
So this is exactly how a broken home starts. Boy meets girl,
I
girl
mean, if we're
gets
being
in.
totally honest, Dragon, I think like outside of fucking All-Star Batman and Robin, dare I say I would classify the Joker as an asexual character
I mean,
if you think about it.
it's kind of like it's kind of like the Dexter Morgan thing, where it's like asexual Harley Quinn kind of is like a gray area in that, but pretty much like Joker doesn't, yeah.
But I mean, you know that Harley is always way more into him than he's into
Oh,
her.
absolutely. I'm just saying,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
that's what I'm saying. It's like I'm saying Joker is asexual,
Like
but it's like
just look at his reaction to the whole "want to rev up my Harley" thing.
exactly. I mean you're absolutely right, Tiki. I'm just saying that it's like not reciprocated. Like when sex is, it's like the thing with Dexter. Well, he's going to do it to keep the cover, but he's not really initiating.
Right.
Or yeah, exactly. So certainly. So Joker is having some very pointed opinions about we shouldn't look what happens when you engage in this, and there's a baby and the boy leaves the girl turns to drugs, alcohol, prostitution, and the boy grows up to be a serial killer. So what could we possibly do to prevent this horrible situation? So Arkham, who by the way, again, remember, Arkham's a romantic. He's trying to get home to his wife.
He is, yeah.
Arkham wants to, can we just leave him alone? Just to let him go back to their thing? And it's just like, Ted, fill up the car and take Jerry with you. Come on, Jerry. I love Ted. I love Ted.
And all the Ted and Jeremiah arc interactions are the reason why this episode like should be seen at least.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I don't think it should be like just purely exclusive. I do think it should be seen.
It should be banished, Dragon.
Yeah, I mean, if anything, it's well. Anyway, I would understand being cut from a movie more so than the show.
Yeah. I hear you.
But no, regardless of it is like I love how he interacts with Jerry. You're right. It is like, come on, Jerry, and we have this thing where look, I'll give you $20,000 if you let me
Jerry,
get away.
First of all, you don't have that on you,
and I don't take credit cards.
God.
Sorry, I love he says sorry though, because like, well, I'd like to help.
Dare I say, there's almost like a Patrick Star quality to this dude.
Little bit, there is a little bit.
I can't even place why. It's just his level of dim.
Yeah, here's the thing though. Ted is dim yet very resourceful.
Uh-huh.
It's like if Patrick Star were good at things,
right?
Then yes. Okay, so then as they're having this little conversation, Joker, he shoots the couple 4 times. And again, I love you've been having fun, and then the grim reality. Oh, yeah, I shot these poor kids in their car.
Right, times. Yeah, it's just like, okay, like there we go. Just cold-blooded, like Zodiac killer style murder that just took place.
And even Ted's a little like, oh my.
Uh-huh.
Says they weren't practicing. And of course, Joker with the dark humor here. They weren't practicing safe sex.
God.
So then Arkham's about to be sick again, and it's like, okay, well, there you go. Yeah, and that's those are our episodes. So Tiki, I'll say we're getting to the wedding soon, man. We're about to walk into the church, and we're definitely gonna be walking out of it. I'll say that.
Dragon, I don't think I've been as excited for a wedding since the wedding of Norma Bates and Alex Romero.
Well, I mean, also Jimmy McGill and Kim Wexler. That was a nice humble wedding, though.
Okay, but yeah, that was more of a wedding of necessity.
Yes, but turned romantic though subtly.
It did.
Anyway, no, you're right though. Next wedding of the century for sure.
Yeah, I feel like this is the proper next wedding of the century, Dragon. All right.
Okay, so final thoughts, Tiki. What do you got?
Yeah, I mean, I really like it a lot. I think some of these bonus episodes and stuff are. I mean, I don't want to say they're muddying the waters. It's just kind of like a little hard to keep track of everything. But I'm glad that we're covering that kind of stuff that doesn't necessarily fit into the mainline stuff. And just Ted is just a delightful new character. I'm very much looking forward to the dynamic. And I'll say this much, Dragon. Outside of Dinner with the Arkhams, for obvious reasons, I will say this is probably the best performance that our Jeremiah Arkham has done from a comedic level so far.
Sure.
All right.
Yeah, as I said, one of my favorites. Again, it captures the whole Denny O'Neil charm of Joker's randomness. I love Ted the Bum. He only gets better as the Nolan-esque version of Bob the Goon, the very handy preferred henchman of the Joker. Like, you buy this guy eventually would be like, oh, I'm going to need a minute, boys. We have that great signature in the writing. We go from funny to the intense moments to just that booming sense of dread at the end, like the disquieting dread of like, oh, God, he's going to walk into that church with that shotgun. We're gonna have to wait for it.
No, that's what I call a shotgun wedding.
You joke about that. Things are about to get really fun with Tiki, I'm going to tease you with this. Yeah, be very specific with this. Okay. Things are about to get really fun with the found footage format. Okay.
Ooh,
I want to emphasize.
I like that. I like that.
Let's just say the next
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and guess that some sort of wedding videographer gets involved.
I can't say anything, Tiki.
All right.
All I'm going to say is, again, we're for the next, at least bare minimum, next 4 episodes, we're going to do different found footage things for each of these, and it's going to be really, really different and really fun.
All right. Okay, well, our time's up, and it's time to reseal the further evidence. Until our next session, when we attempt to answer the question, is there a method to the madness with the Joker blog case study?
Come on, Jerry. The whole time!
The whole time!